Hello everyone, welcome to this video of AutomationEdge. In this video, we are going to discuss the features that we have introduced in AutomationEdge release 7.3. So the first feature that we have introduced is wherein we have provided the agent tray that enables users to perform various actions on an active or running agent. Now, once you start an agent, you will be able to look into the agent tray on the toolbar under the icons. So as you can see, my agent is running, and this is where I will be able to look at the agent and also perform various actions on this agent. So once I right click on this icon, I will be able to look into the name of the agent, view the logs. If I wish to restart the agent, I can also restart the agent from here and stop the agent. If I want any further information, I can just click on About and get the details of the agent, which include the type, the path, the server URL, and the tenant or code of that specific agent. The next feature that we have introduced is we have further enhanced the workflow feature to enable the users to capture error information about the workflow with ease. So let us go ahead and look at this feature. So for that, I am at my AutomationEdge UI. To enable this feature for a specific workflow, you can click on Edit Workflow under the Actions tab. And here you will be able to enable the feature wherein you can capture raw data on workflow failure and also capture screenshot on workflow failure. So you can just enable these features from the AutomationEdge UI. And if a failure takes place while the execution of the workflow, these details will be captured. Now, in order to generate the error files properly, please ensure that you read through the prerequisites mentioned in the user guide document. The next feature that we have introduced is the concept of Credential Owners to ensure that the users receive timely and compliant notifications about credentials. So let us go ahead and look at this feature. So here I am at the Credential tab on my AutomationEdge UI. I will go ahead and create a new credential. You will now see email notifications at the bottom. So here under the email list, provide the list of email IDs to which you want to send notifications about the credential. A maximum of 5 email IDs can be provided. Now, to ensure that the credential notification goes to the users, make sure that under the Settings tab in Email Notifications, the credential create, update, and expiry is enabled. Only if this is enabled, the notification will go to the people whose email IDs are mentioned under that list. The next feature is wherein we have completely reordered the menu options in the AutomationEdge UI. So here we are at the AutomationEdge UI, and as you can see, the complete sequence of the tabs here on the left hand side has changed. So now this goes as per the sequence wherein you begin with the Home tab, you create users, you download the Process Studio, edit the workflows, assign it to the agents, and so on. So we have completely reordered the complete menu tab of the AutomationEdge UI to facilitate ease in operations. The next feature that we have introduced is we have added a project level shared database creation feature, which is available under the connections in the Project Explorer. So let us go ahead and look at the database creation feature. So for that, I will open my Process Studio instance. So as you can see, I am at my Process Studio instance. So as you can see, if you want to create a database connection, you can simply right click on your project, select the new option, and here you will find the database connection. There are also different ways of adding a database connection. I'll also quickly take you through all of those. As you can see, now there is a connection option that is also being added under a project. So if you right click on that also, you will be able to add a new database connection. Under the connections, there is another option of a database on which if you right click, you will also be able to add a database connection from here. And as you can see, I have already created a database connection, and if I want to keep adding to this list, I can again right click on it and select the new option to add a database. Now once you select the new database option, this window will open from where you can add your database connections. You can make the necessary selection, provide the necessary details and create a new connection. So I'll quickly create a connection here. Now once you add the necessary details, you can test the connection. As you can see, your connection is successfully established, after which you can click on OK. And the database connection that I just added has come up under the list of the database connections. You can also edit a shared database connection, and if you wish to delete it, that is also possible. Now on deletion of the shared database connection, the connection is changed to the local database in the workflows and processes where the connection was used. So this basically ensures that the execution of workflow and processes is not affected. The shared database connection can be used across the workflows and processes under the selected project. So any workflow or processes that you have, you don't need to keep adding the database connection now. You can simply use the database connections that are mentioned below the connection tab. The database connections added are just specific to a particular project. The next feature that we have added in this release is wherein a logging tab is added that enables users to store the workflow or process execution data in the predefined log tables. Now the logging details are available only if the workflow or process is the main workflow or process. Now let us go ahead and look at this feature. So here I am at my Process Studio instance. I will just open the workflow wherein I have added a database connection because the database connection is required to create the log tables. Now you have to make sure that your workflow is a main workflow. Then only you will be able to add this logging feature. So my salary processing workflow is a main workflow under my project. Now here I have the database connection also added. Now to add the logging tables, you can just double click on the canvas. Under the logging tab, here you have various options. Now under the connections, you can select from one of the connections that you have configured earlier. So if I just select the DB2 connection, here two tables will be created in your database, which will include the workflow process log table, which will have all of these fields. And the second table is the step entry log table, wherein you will have all of these fields while the workflow is under execution. Now this will basically help you capture any kind of errors while your workflow is under process. Once you have added in all the necessary details, you can now go ahead and click on Create Tables to create these two tables in the database. The SQL editor will open. You have to click on Execute to execute the SQL query. And once a query is successfully executed, you will have the tables created in the database. Click on OK. So once your tables are created, you can click on OK to close this window. Now let us go ahead and open the database to see if the tables are created in the database. So I have created the tables in the AgentBot database. So under the tables, you can see that two tables by the name Step Entry and Work Process have been successfully created. So once the workflow completes execution, all the data that you saw in that window will be captured in these tables. So you can see all of these parameter values will be captured. So this is how we can capture the execution logs with the help of the logging feature that we have added in this release. The next feature that we have introduced is that we have enhanced the step or entry toolbar by providing an option to add a description of the step. Now let us go ahead and look at that example. So here I have one of my workflows open. So if I select any of these steps or entries and I click on it, you will be able to see that under the toolbar, I have this icon which will enable me to enter a step description. Using this option, you can add a brief description of the step here or any other details. The next feature that we have introduced is wherein the users can now see the groups created in a workflow in the view pane. So let us go ahead and look at this feature. So as you can see, I have one of the workflows open here wherein 3 groups are created for employee onboarding process, to add an account, to add user to a group, and for creating an Office 365 account. Now all of these three are groups that we have created. Now if I want to look into the steps that are present in each of these groups, I can simply go to the view pane, and under this, as you can see, I have the groups tab. So if I just expand that tab, I will be able to see the groups that are created, and if I just double click on any of these groups, they expand and I will be able to look into the step names, the input hops and the output hops. The next feature that we have introduced is wherein the users can now perform a case-sensitive search using the search dialog. The search option is case insensitive by default. So let us go ahead and look at this feature. So as you can see, I have opened the search pane here. So I can decide whether I want to search across a workspace, a project, or any open workflow or processes. Let me just select a workspace. I want to search across all of these parameters, so I'm selecting all of these parameters here. So as you can see, I can do a case-sensitive search by selecting this option. So let me enter a filter value here and click on search. So as you can see, I have found the workflow under which I could find that specific filter value. So this is how from release 7.3 you can go ahead and do a case-sensitive search. The next feature that we have introduced is that we have further enhanced the snapshot canvas feature so that the users can now directly save the captured snapshot or paste and save the snapshot using another application such as MS Paint. So to capture a snapshot, you can directly go to the edit option, select snapshot canvas, and the snapshot will be captured. Now to enhance this feature even further, you can make a few necessary settings. Under the options tab, select look and feel, and here you will be able to make the settings such as select the canvas grid size, check if you want to show canvas grid to further enhance the snapshot that has been captured. Click on OK to save your selection. These are the features that we have introduced in release 7.3. That is all from this video. Thank you.